What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mandy for another review. How you doing? How you doing? So today I'm doing something different. Well, it's been a while since I did like another episode of Billy and Mandy. This popped into my mind. Like, wait, maybe I should do a review on this one. This one's pretty scary and dark, and it has a nice climb and ending twist. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about season two. And this is part of, Grim and Evil, back when they had that, that dual show with Evil Carnet and Grim Adventure Bill and Mandy. So yeah, this is season two. I forgot what episode. This was episode 4, the first segment of the 4th episode of Billy and Mandy. Who killed who? And this is an iconic one. If you want a dark, twisted episode, you got one right here. And this is the one that involves, okay, when it comes to episodes most of everything's supernatural. This one has more of an urban legend than most. And okay, you open start with see Irwin and Billy playing a game called Who Killed Who, which is kind of like a parody of Clue. Of course, when Mandy sees it, as what they're doing, she asks if she can play. Let's just say Billy and Irwin says no because girls can't play. Which, of course, seriously? Seriously. You're saying no to Mandy. That girl can rip you to pieces without even laying a finger on you. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like the video, and let's continue. And yeah. After that, let's just say Bill and Irwin accidentally, while throwing the dice, accidentally throw their dice in the backyard of the house, which Mandy asks, why not go get? Because they exclaim that house is haunted, which of course Mandy says, really? And then Grim shows up and says, yep, it's haunted. Because he knows about the history of that house. And the ghost of Mrs. Doolin. Of course, Grim tells the story about little Frankie. What back in the days of old, looks like maybe early 1920s or something. You see a bunch of kids playing baseball, or what Grimm called it, stickball. One ball hit the window on the top of the tower, while the other into the fence. Of course, little Frankie, being a husky kid, went over through the fence. And when he managed to reach the backyard, it's like a giant, like a jungle, literally, find the ball in the needle of the haystack. What Grim quote, nobody knows if Frankie ever found the ball, but we all know Mrs. Doolin found him. Which, of course, they don't know what happened. They say Mrs. Doolin fed Frankie's bones to her pet spider. As for the rest of him, well, a new scarecrow appeared, because you didn't notice there were a bunch of scarecrows in her backyard. And then another one, 2 brothers playing with an airplane. And the next one, Grim's dog, Lucky. Of course, it cuts off to Grim putting a lost poster of his dog, calling Lucky's name. Of course, Mandy, when the boys don't do it, Mandy goes gets the dice. Which of course, I don't know how the dice end up in the house. Which of course, Mandy tells Dares to go inside and to retrieve the dice. What she does, she encounters the spirit of Mrs. Doolin as a silhouette when she asks, you looking for these? Yeah. Oh, this ain't mine. I said, good. I'm sorry, you can't. What do you see Mrs. Doolin? It's a black silhouette with glowing eyes and a glowing mouth. And when she said good with a twist, evil grin, he's like, oh fuck. Of course, let's just say the boys were worried until during the night we hear an evil laughter until I realize it's just Mrs. Doolin and Mandy fencing, which of course Mandy beats her by cutting off her necklace pendant. Looks like a Black Widow pendant. Which of course Mrs. Doolin compliments her and that she could be a world champion fencer. Which, of course, they walk around the house, and Mandy starts recognizing, the baseball, the airplane, and, of course, she mentions her pet spider. Which, of course, you see, okay, this is the first time we see Mandy getting worried. Her face starts her expression change every time she hears her about little Frankie. And of course, let's just say it's rare we see Mandy freaking out. And this is season 2, so seeing her with that expression like, oh, is the whole thing true? Until when Mrs. Dolan pulls out a knife, it turns out she's cutting out melons for her and Mandy, and also for Spider. Well, she's talking about, I forgot the name of the spider, but, oh yeah, a little fun fact, Mrs. Dolan's voiced by the late, great Betty White, which I never knew until I heard that voice. Oh, wait, that's familiar. And it turns out it was Betty White who voices Mrs. Dolan, which is actually pretty cool. Rest in peace, Betty White. And yeah, when she confirms that man says she's a vegetarian, and it's like, yep, no meat or bones. And wait, nah, why? Why you ask? Of course, Manny asks, well, you see, someone told me and then a dog shows up like, oh, look who stopped to say hello. And Mandy said, Lucky! Yep, of course. When she says about you fed bones to some kid or the pet spider, of course, Mrs. Dolan looks puzzled until she laughs until she mentions Grim. Or she calls him Old Bag of Bones, which of course, ever since I beat him at a staring contest, he been making all kinds of rumors about me. In fact, he never forgave me of beating him about everything. Well, she shows old photos of them when she was younger, like from tennis, golf, even a photo from 1964 at Madison Square Garden for the title of heavyweight champion of the world. Damn, getting Grim getting his ass beat by a woman. That's just petty. I can explain why. And also, sorry. As I was saying, also, let's talk about the details of this art. You know, the artwork for her home. I'm sorry, that gives me like Children of the Corn or It vibes, like the house from the. Either way, it could be the original or the new one. Dude, when you see the dark silhouette, including the yard of the house, they give you like Children of the Corn vibes, like the long, tall wheat grass fields. Whew, man, that looks beautiful right there. But back to here. Let's just say, I ever recall, if you remember the very first episode of Billy and Mandy, which is the one where they first meet Grim, when he's about to take the soul of Billy's hamster, which is a funny one, actually. Grim mentions that he loves games, which, yeah, in Meet the Reaper, which he loves playing games and he never loses. However, in this episode, let's just say we now learned that Mrs. Dolan has beaten Grim in just about everything, which means Grim just made everything up. Periodically. That means he never won in the game of Limbo. He actually lost. But back to here, after learning about that, let's just say when Mrs. Dolan is about to give the dice back to Mandy, which of course Mandy says, oh, just keep them. They're not mine. They belong to Billy and his idiot friend. It's a what? Two dorky friends who don't want to let me play their stupid game because I'm a girl. Which pisses Mrs. Dolan off, which she says, ooh, that kind of stuff makes me crazy. 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 With a lightning blasting behind the background, which, damn. And you see Mrs. Dolan, she's tweaking. Damn. Of course. Let's just say, back at Billy's home, let's just say Billy's having a nightmare about Mandy, which he wakes up, goes to Mrs. Dolan's house at the night, trying to find her, which of course, let's just say, man, what are we going to do? Ooh, a little flower powder. Which of course, she powders up Mandy with nose powder. Of course, Billy walks around it inside and encounters Mandy in dark silhouette, which, of course, Mandy, is that you? Yes, Billy. It's like, yeah, which is okay. Of course, is that so, Billy? Is that so? Okay, Mandy, no! I mean, you're you're all white. Look at. Ghost. Yeah. I just like how Billy just like, oh yeah, with his eyes going, it's like both ways. It's pretty funny. Of course, Mandy put this quote, all because you wouldn't let me play your game because I'm always a girl. No, well, now that I'm a ghost, it's my turn to play. Who killed who? She throws the dice. When the dice lands, let's just say there's something written on the dice. When Billy says, behind you, behind me, he turns around to Billy in the hallway with the dice. Bye, and man say bye, and Mrs. Dolan right behind her. Me. And Billy's screaming to his lungs. And he runs out there. I'm sorry, Mandy. You can play. Girls are allowed. I just love that. The fact that he's like, you see Mrs. Dolan right there with that silhouette of hers saying, me. And lightning strikes down. That's why, okay, Mandy says, well, better check out another one for the girls, Mrs. Dolan, right? Mrs. Dolan? As Mandy turns around, this is the kicker. Once she turns around, the inside of the house looks decrepit. How so? Literally, like hasn't been lived in years. Abandoned, destroyed, the hallway looks like abandoned, decayed. Okay, when we first went in the house, it's like ordered, clean, organized. And when she turns around, it looks like it's been decrepit, has been lived in for years. And that's when Mandy walks over to a painting of Mrs. Dolan that she saw and sees Grim in the background, in the mirror in the painting, giving her the scowling Grim in the background, which of course, Mrs. Dolan, hearing the voiceover, Mrs. Dolan saying, ha! He's never forgiven me for beating him in just about everything. And Grim, I know everything that is to know about that house. Beat him just about everything. But you hear both saying everything, which Manny cries, wow. Mrs. Dolan beat Grim. She beat Death. Well, it turns out, Mrs. Dolan is actually an actual ghost. Which, the fact that, okay, I have to describe here. Let's see. What appears, in fact, that she's in fact a ghost, where Mrs. Dolan says, yep, it turns out she beat Grim after death, which means, remember, Grim's job is to collect souls, so he never collected Mrs. Dolan's soul, so Mrs. Dolan has been in that house for a long time that she's actually a ghost walking inside her house the whole time. And the fact that Mandy beat her, that means she finally finds someone who beat her. So of course this was a theory that this is a actual theory that makes more sense. That Mrs. Dolan has never lost, and even Grim, the Grim Reaper, tried to collect her soul. And he lost, so she remained in the house even after death. That is when Mandy beat her in a fencing, which we saw her cut her pendant off, which of course, she did her this favor to teach Billy a lesson, which means she crossed the other side, and by doing after that, the house went decrepit. The illusion that it looked so stately and clean fades away into decay and, let's say, a mess. I'm sorry, seeing that manner, like, what the fuck just happened? Exactly. Dude, damn. And this was actually this was a good episode. To tell you the truth, you don't really find any episodes like this anymore that has like a twist in the ending, like, oh, you meet this woman that even beats the Grim Reaper. And when you realize, in the end, where'd she go? You see the house all a mess. Looks hasn't been lived in for years. And when you see the painting again, this time you see the Grim Reaper right there. and hear the voiceovers of both of them saying everything. Which Mandy replies, "Oh, she being grim. She beaten death." Like literally, and she closes the door. That Mrs. Dougal just moved. She moved on because she knew that she found somebody who being her that is not the Grim Reaper. All I thought was that necklace. That necklace like something maybe enchanter or something. Nope. But yeah, this was a good episode of Who Killed Who. I loved it. Dude, I don't know the episodes. This was a good one. This is from season 2, and let's say early season 2 episodes are. Well, remember this was during the time of grim and evil, so this was a good episode. I'd recommend it. This is a good episode for watching October because come on, you have a good story. The style of the animation for this story is awesome as well. Including the background of the house, the flashback of the story. It makes a good urban legend ghost story right here. I enjoy it. You don't really find these anymore these days from early 2000s. And this is from this is from season 2. This is from what year? 2003. And this is in July. Damn. That's how crazy it is. This is in the middle between Grimm Show and Son of Nurgle. Damn. And this is run by Gord Zajak. Damn, Gord. I give you props for writing a good episode. Props to you. And I recommend people watch this. Actually, remember, these episodes are like a 2-0, so this is along with this and Twin Wolf, which is the one where Erwin turns to a werewolf and Billy enters him in a dog show. Yeah. You see Erwin? He looks like a German Shepherd, so damn. Even though he's half mummy, half vampire. That's how crazy it is with Erwin. He's half mummy, half vampire. But back to here. I recommend this episode of Billy and Mandy. This is actually from season 2. This is the first segment of episode 4, which remember it's a double 2 stories, 1 episode. But yeah, let me know what you think of Who Killed Who, and if you want to watch this episode, hey, if you have the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, good on you, because damn, if I recall, Warner Bros. Warner Bros. Eliminated all anime shows in their library, and on Hulu. Fuck. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of Who Killed Who, and did you enjoy this episode when you first saw this? Me, dude, hey. When I first saw this episode, it scared the fuck out of me, and I was like in the this was like first or second grade. Jesus, but still, I do enjoy a good urban ghost story. Especially in the end when you realize the woman is actually a ghost. And she's been dead for a long time and you didn't know it. But when she vanishes, the house looks corrupted like hell. Damn. Even the tile card, which I'm using right now, that looks... look at that tile card. You saw that house. Damn. That's pretty cool. You gotta tell that's the sun or the moon. They actually use it for both. Even the typo is pretty cool. But yeah, I think that'll be it for today. And if you have other videos to request or a episode that involved maybe something scary or something, comment down below so I can do a review on it. And also, I did my reaction to Garfield, and the problem is, let's just say I'll do a post explain why. I recommend you guys to watch it because damn. Let's just say YouTube's giving me a pain in the ass. But before I go, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video. Until then, have a great day, people. Have a great night. Stay safe. Peace out. See you next time.